Hi guys, my name is Miss Mandy, or as my students call me, Miss Madsen, and this is Buckley here. I teach music over at Garrison School for the Arts, and today I'm going to be teaching you about Irish music, and I'm going to teach you a song called Oro the Rattlin Bog. And Buckley probably won't be much help in that part, but the reason I'm going to teach you this song is because we just had St. Patrick's Day, and St. Patrick's Day is an Irish holiday. It's also a huge holiday in Savannah, so if you live in Savannah, the Low Country, you've probably been downtown. You've probably seen the huge parade that happens. You've probably heard all of the Irish music that's being played in the streets, and you maybe have gone to the Celtic Mass at the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. And I've been lucky enough to find Harry singing the song, Oro the Rattlin Bog, in downtown Savannah on St. Patrick's Day. So I thought this would be a fun song for us to learn today. Irish music is from the country of Ireland. It's in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's a little island all by itself. And there they have lots of folk music that has influenced even our American folk music, and the folk music is 100 or even more years old. And they have two different kinds of songs there. They have music for dancing, and they have music for singing. Today we're going to learn a song that's for singing, but we'll probably do a little dancing as well. They also have two different types of music where it comes from, like where you're playing with instruments, and that's called accompanied music, or without instruments. So it's just solo singing or singing with instruments as well. And the song that we're learning today is usually unaccompanied. They also call that Seanus, but today we're going to play it with some instruments as well. Okay? If you haven't had a chance to listen to Harry sing this song, I suggest you go back, listen to Harry sing Oro the Rattlin Bog, and I want you to think about a couple of different things. I want you to listen for what instruments you hear. I want you to listen for what is he singing about. And I want you to listen for what the tempo is. And you're like, Miss Mandy, what does the word tempo mean? Well, tempo is a fancy music term, and it means the speed of the beat of music, or how fast or how slow the music's going. Now, music doesn't always have to be just fast or just slow. It could be sometimes fast and sometimes slow within one song. So ask yourself, is this song just slow, just fast, or are there fast and slow parts to it? So give yourself a second to go and listen to the song.
Now, the song we're going to do today is a song you may be familiar with. You may have heard of it from your teachers. If not, you will know it very shortly. It's called the Rattlin Bog. And a bog is a kind of a marshland, very, very wet with old dead vegetation that builds up over thousands of years. There's a lot of bogs in Ireland, and there's some bogs here in the marshes of the lowlands of the southeastern United States. But the song is called the Rattlin Bog. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Now in that bog there was a tree, a rare tree and a rattling tree. Tree in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And on that tree there was a limb, a rare limb and a rattling limb. Limb of the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. On that limb there was a branch, a rare branch, a rattling branch. Branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And on that branch there was a twig, a rare twig, a rattling twig. Twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And on their twig there was a nest, a rare nest, a rattling nest. Sing it with me. Nest and twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And in that nest there was an egg, a rare egg, a a rattlin egg. Egg in the nest, in the nest, in the twig, in the twig, in the branch, in the branch, in the limb, limb of the tree, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. And in that egg there was a bird, a rare bird, a rattlin bird. Bird in the egg, in the egg, in the nest, in the nest, in the twig, twig, in the branch, in the branch, in the limb, in the limb, in the tree, tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. Getting very fast now. And on that bird there was a feather, a rare feather, a rattlin feather. Feather the bird, in the egg, in the egg, in the nest, in the nest, in the twig, in the twig, in the branch, branch, in the limb, in the limb, in the tree, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. And this is the very last one, going to go super fast. On that feather there was a flea, a rare flea, a rattlin flea. Here we go. Flea in the feather, the bird, in the egg, in the egg, in the nest, nest, in the twig, in the branch, in the branch, in the limb, in the limb, in the tree, tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down one more time. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo. Oh, row the rattlin bog, the bog down in the valley, yo.
All right, so did you listen to the song? Hope you did. This is Ruby. She's also going to help us learn this song today. And I have another guest, Mr. Chris, who's going to help us learn today. Mr. Chris also plays a couple different instruments, and he's eating a sandwich so the dogs want to eat.
Got a sandwich.
Make sure if you haven't eaten today, go get a sandwich. But we listened to this song, didn't you, Mr. Chris?
We did.
Okay. And what kind of instruments did you hear in it?
Well, I heard somebody singing.
Oh, you heard a sing. Okay, was it a man or a woman singer?
A man.
A man singer. So that's Mr. Harry singing. What else did you hear?
I heard a drum.
You heard a drum. That's right. Well, it's a very special Irish drum. It's called the bowran. So even in Irish music, there's lots of different other instruments as well that you don't hear in this song. They sometimes have harps and flutes and these kind of Irish bagpipes called the Uilleann pipes. And so when you listen to other different types of Irish music, look out for those other instruments as well and see if you can identify them. Now, there were a couple of different tempos that we heard in this song. It wasn't just fast and it wasn't just slow. There were two different parts. When we sang the chorus part, which is the Oro the Rattlin Bog part, that part was actually pretty fast. And in music, especially classical music, we use these really fancy Italian terms sometimes. And the Italian term for fast is called allegro. So I want you to take your Italian hand out. Mwah. And I want you to say, allegro. Beautiful. So the chorus part, the Oro the Rattlin Bog, was allegro. But the verse where we kind of slowed it down because there were a lot of words, right? And that part is slow, and our Italian term for that is adagio. Can you say that for me? Adagio. Beautiful. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what this song was about. You might have heard him reference a bog, which is an Irish term for what would be a marsh or a swamp. Since you guys are in Savannah, the low country, you might have driven through the marsh before. We've got a lot of marsh in Savannah. If you've gone over the Talmadge Bridge, heading up to South Carolina, there's all that marsh there. And that's a lot like the bogs in Ireland. And a bog is like a really swampy marsh area that's wet and it collects water. And there are lots of living things in it, like plants and animals. And this song references trees and birds and little fleas that live in that bog. And so we are going to learn the chorus part first. But I want you to repeat after me. Oro, Rattlin, Bog. Oro is kind of like, it's this Irish word that kind of, it's like a cheer, like hooray, Oro. And Rattlin is short for rattling, which actually you would think means rattling, right? But it actually means splendid. So it's saying Oro the splendid bog, over in the splendid bog. So Oro the Rattlin Bog. All right, friends, I want you to repeat after me. Oro the Rattlin Bog,
Oro the Rattlin Bog,
the bog down in the valley, oh.
the bog down in the valley, oh.
Oro the Rattlin Bog,
Oro the Rattlin Bog,
the bog down in the valley, oh.
the bog down in the valley, oh.
Great job, Mr. Chris.
Thanks.
Do we want to put that all together and sing it together? Are you ready? 1, 2, ready, and Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Now, when I do the song, I know we said this is a song for singing, but when I do this song in my classroom, I like to do a little Irish jig. Now, let me just say this is not officially an Irish jig because I don't know how to Irish jig, but this is my version of that. Are you ready? So I put my hands on my hips like this and I do little kicks. Are you ready? We're gonna sing it one more time. Do you want to come join us?
Sure.
All right, 1, 2, ready, and Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. All right, so now we've learned the chorus. We can learn the verses, and the verses are a little bit harder. And if you've ever sang a song like The 12 Days of Christmas or The Green Grass Grew All Around, which is actually a song based off of Oro the Rattlin Bog, so that's why they sound pretty similar, then you've learned what's called a cumulative song. And that's where each verse kind of uses the verse before it, and you just add them all. And then you, by the end, the last verse, you're singing all the verses together and you run out of breath. So with Oro the Rattlin Bog, our first verse goes, and in that bog there was a tree, a rare tree, a rattling tree. Tree in the bog down in the valley, oh. And you get your kickers out and you get ready to do your jig, okay? When you get to the second verse after you sing the chorus, you're going to sing, and on that tree there was a limb, a rare limb, a rattling limb. Limb in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. And on the third verse, we got to go even further. So from the limb, we go to the branch. And on that limb, there was a branch, a rare branch, a rattling branch. Branch and the limb, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog down in the valley, oh. And then from the branch, we got to get even smaller. We go to a twig. Oh, on that branch, there was a twig, a rare twig, a rattling twig. Twig and the branch, and the branch, and the limb, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog down in the valley, oh. And then from the twig, we got to talk about what's on that twig. And on that twig is a little nest. On that twig, there was a nest, a rare nest, a rattling nest. Nest in the twig, and the branch, and the branch, and the limb, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog down in the valley, oh. And then from there, in your nest, what do you think's in the nest? A little egg. And in that nest, there was an egg, a rare egg, a rattling egg. Egg in the nest, and the twig, and the branch, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog down in the valley, oh. And I bet you know what's in that little egg, but what do you think?
A dog?
Not a dog, but a bird. And in that egg there was a bird, a rare bird, a rattling bird. Get your feathers out. Bird in the egg, in the egg, in the nest, in the twig, and the branch, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog down in the valley, oh. And what do you think is on a bird? Is it fur, like a dog? What is it?
Feathers.
Oh, feathers. So show me a little feather with your hand. And on that bird there was a feather, a rare feather, a rattling feather. Feather and the bird, and the egg, and the nest, and the twig, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog down in the valley, oh. And just when you don't think you can go any further, on that feather, there's another living thing. You might find them on your dogs if you have a dog, and that is a flea. And on that feather there was a flea. Show me your tiny little flea. A rare flea, a rattling flea. Flea and the feather and the feather and the bird and the bird and the egg and the egg and the nest and the nest and the twig and the twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the tree and the bog down in the valley. Oh, and then you go bust into Oro the Rattlin Bog 2 more times until the end. We're going to come back and we're going to show you the whole song together. All right, boys and girls, now that we've learned the song, you're ready to put it all together with our motions. And Mr. Chris is going to play fiddle now. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And in that bog there was a tree, a rare tree, a rattling tree. Tree in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And on that tree there was a limb, a rare limb, a rattling limb. Limb in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And on that limb there was a branch, a rare branch, a rattling branch. Branch in the limb, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And on that branch there was a twig, a rare twig, a rattling twig. Twig in the branch, in the limb, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. On that twig there was a nest, a rare nest, a rattling nest. Nest in the twig, in the branch, in the limb, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And in that nest there was an egg, a rare egg, a rattling egg. Egg in the nest, in the twig, in the branch, in the limb, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And in that egg there was a bird, a rare bird, a rattling bird. Bird in the egg, in the nest, in the twig, in the branch, in the limb, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And on that bird there was a feather, a rare feather, a rattling feather. Feather in the bird, in the egg, in the nest, in the twig, in the branch, in the limb, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. And on that feather there was a flea, a rare flea, a rattling flea. Flea in the feather, in the bird, in the egg, in the nest, in the twig, in the branch, in the limb, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Oro the Rattlin Bog, the bog down. Alright guys, hope you had fun. Go back and listen to Mr. Harry sing that and sing along with him and do your motions. Have a fun day.